Hi, my name is Leila, and this is my best friend Luke.
Hi everybody, Leila and I are best friends because we have the same hobby. We love to travel.
Today we're going to tell you all about our Tallahassee adventure, so here are some of the highlights.
Me and Leila had a scavenger hunt all over Tallahassee. We searched for new adventures far and wide.
We saw so many landmarks and learned so many fun facts. We visited the old Capitol building where we saw old telephones, typewriters, and desks.
My favorite part was the stained dome. We also went to the Union Bank and the Museum of Florida History.
My favorite part was the museum. The mastodon was ginormous.
Yes, it was. And you remember, my favorite thing in the whole world is music. I loved listening to the organ at First Presbyterian Church.
And I loved being able to see the old historic village of Mission St. Louis, where the Appalachian people and the Spaniards used to live.
Florida State University and Florida A&M University were so much fun to visit. Their campuses were beautiful.
Is that everywhere we explored, Luke?
Well, we also went to the Tallahassee Museum and the Challenger Center.
Our last stop was to see where Mr. John G. Riley lived many years ago. He was one of the first African-American millionaires in the state of Florida. After he was freed from slavery, he became an educator and a community leader.
All right, no more spoilers. Let's dive on in. Leila and her best friend Luke have something they enjoy, as traveling is the hobby of this little girl and boy. They talk to many people and they visit lots of things. There's really nothing that compares to all the fun it brings.
Today they're on a trip from school to Tallahassee town. It's Florida state capital and worth a look around. The old historic capital is where they first arrive. It symbolized the Sunshine State since 1845. The children and their classmates have a little game in mind. They're going to have a scavenger hunt to see what they can find. Let's have a competition, Luke, says Leila to her friend. With points for every sight we see, we'll count them at the end. So Luke and Leila form teams and head off to explore, in search of new adventures that they've never had before.
The old Capitol building has a heavy stained glass dome and houses a museum that the children get to roam. There's such a lot of history and wit they've got on show, from typewriters to telephones and desks from long ago.
Close by, there lies the Union Bank. It's very, very old. It's been a factory, feed store, church, and other things, they're told. It used to handle money for for the whole community, but now it's a museum full of local history.
The Museum of Florida History is not that far away, so Luke and Leila reunite to carry on the day. They see a mastodon, a ship, and tools made out of stone. Exhibits on display explain how Florida has grown.
Luke's a fan of music, so he didn't stick around when someone said somewhere there's an organ to be found. And sure enough, he found it. It was quite an easy search. He simply took a look inside the First Presbyterian Church.
The church dates back a long, long way to 1832, but there's a sight set older that the children go to view. The huge old city cemetery leaves both the kids amazed as they walk among the headstones to the famous witch's grave.
Mission St. Louis is somewhere Leila wants to see. It's famous for its storied past and archaeology. The Appalachian people and the Spaniards call it home, and their historic village is where Leila gets to roam.
When Leila leaves the village, she and Luke meet up once more, and Florida State University is where they next explore. The Integration statue is an awesome thing to view. Along with Westcott Fountain, it's the pride of FSU.
And next, the children take the time to honor days gone by. They visit war memorials to those who fought and died. From World War II and Vietnam and way out in Korea, they read names upon the plaques of all remembered here.
The Grove Museum lies inside an antebellum home. The Colin Collins families once claimed it as their own. As Leila tours the house and grounds, she starts to understand the history and legacy of this old plantation land.
When Leila's back with Luke again, they head down FAMU Way and past the Rattler State Park, where the Borders come to play. On the Florida A&M University campus, they visit the Eternal Flame, the Black Archives, and other sites of international fame.
Before the kids continue, they count up the points they've earned. Their totals are the same right now. They're both surprised to learn. Though halfway through their journey, there's no one out in front. I wonder who's going to win this thrilling scavenger hunt.
Now, Luke is fond of drawing, and at painting, he's an ace. And Lemoyne Arts is a center where he finds the perfect place. McGinnis Monroe House dates back to 1854. He enjoys the gorgeous gardens and painting class and more.
In Frenchtown, a historic trail is there to be enjoyed, so Luke and Leila go there with some other girls and boys. It's teeming with Black history that nobody should skip. Old Lincoln High School and Tooks Hotel are really worth the trip.
The children visit Knott House with some keen anticipation, as on its steps they know was read the Emancipation Proclamation. The Union Army called it home when they were in the town, but now it's a museum and the Army's not around.
Leila likes adventure and she loves the great outdoors, and Tallahassee Museum has all those things and more. There are sculptures made like dinosaurs and zip lines in the trees. With nature trails and rocks to climb, it's guaranteed to please.
Luke loves to study history, so he spends about an hour at Goodwood Museum and Gardens, where there stands a water tower. The giant oaks and mansion tell the story of the past. Luke's visit is his first, of course, but may not be his last.
The town is full of history, but there's much more to this place. At the famous Challenger Center, you can learn about outer space. There are lots of demonstrations and movies you can view. Luke and Leila have the best of times. There's so much there to do.
Smoky Hollow Historic District was a Black community, and Cascades Park commemorates the way things used to be. The village has some gardens and some fruit trees standing there, and some brick-built spirit houses and a 60s barber chair.
Before the day is over, Luke and Leila choose to go and see where John G. Riley lived so many years ago. The African-American was wealthy as could be, and Riley House, the home he owned, is wonderful to see.
Now the scavenger hunt is over, and they head home at last, and the children saw the city, both the present and the past. The points they earned are equal, and they both agree that's fine, until their next adventure in another place and time.
The end. Thanks for listening. I love learning about Mr. Riley and all the other monuments in Tallahassee. I can't wait to explore more places with you, Leila.
Thank you, Luke. Yes, where do you think we should explore next? Make sure to come see Annie at Young Actors Theater April 4th through 13th.